think we need to give any gifts, we always think of Srila Prabhupadaji's, and of course, the all the followers, their books as a gift. So when the friends they come, when we visit, I think one of the best gifts we can give. I think we need to give Srila Prabhupadaji's books. Hare Krishna. Oh wow, okay. This picture, what we can see, this is a beautiful picture sent by Guru Maharaj Ji as a gift on my birthday, on my latest birthday, I think, from Mayapur. It's
Haribol.
Haribol, Prabhu, yes.
Beautiful.
Wonderful, yeah.
Just to receive that on your birthday, and this has been going for many years now, and this is one of those spiritual gifts which we get from Guru Maharaj Ji's. Guru Maharaj Ji's office, they always send you the text, they always greet you. And it's because we are part of that Guru Shishya Parampara. Then Guru Maharaj Ji and all other senior devotees, they take such a good care that they don't let you feel alone, and they're always there with you. Yeah, I'm sure Anil Prabhuji has experienced some of those as well.
Yes, Prabhu, yes. And I was just about to say that the colors, are so mesmerizing.
Exactly.
This is in Mayapur, and trust me, Mayapur is a very rural area. It's a rural village. It's not even a town, I would say. But once you're in the compound inside, then it's all Krishna conscious activities everywhere. There are schools there are accommodation, there are places to eat, there are various places, big massive places where you could go and you can dine, and you could sit on the chair, you can sit at the bottom, you can serve there. But when you get into the temple, and of course the new temple, one of the, I think, the tallest temple in the world, Chandrodhayan Mandir, of course there is one in Vrindavan, but the one here, Vedic, VOIP, we say, and it's massive. We have seen it's open now, not fully, I would say, but it's still under construction. But even before that, where the main temple is, the deities, they are so beautiful and they are massive. I don't know the size, but one of those we could see. Okay, not on this picture, but I connect to Mayapur live darshan in the morning, and there we could see the priest, and priest is so much. So if you see and admire, yeah, the priest will not even reach Krishna's knee here. Priest is even lower than that. So the deities, the statues, they are massive. And imagine how much efforts and how many devotees they come together to do the Singara, because we have the Singara, I think. For Guru Puja, we have the whole decoration when they change it. It's amazing how much they are together. So such a beautiful. If you haven't been already, then I would definitely recommend. It's like 2 hours from Kolkata. So fly to Kolkata and then 2 hours there. But when you go there, stay there for a few days, and then there's a lot to get around. And of course, a lot of times then Navdeep, because Navdeep, Mayapur is one out of Navdeep, 9 islands, and then people go around different islands. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji's pastimes are there. It's beautiful. When a lot of, like yesterday, somebody shared that a German family, they relocated from Germany to Mayapur. And of course, Germany is such a sophisticated, high-tech country. And Mayapur is rural India. And they are sharing their thoughts, and they are so happy there. And of course, there are so many others from Delhi, Mumbai. They have just left everything, and the peace and the tranquility they find there in Mayapur and Vrindavan is amazing. that what Srila Prabhupada has put together, the higher taste. And it was actually Guru Maharaj who said that like Srila Prabhupada's teacher, Bhakti Vinod Thakurji, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakurji, he said to Srila Prabhupada as an instruction that you go in the Western world where people speak English, because your English is great, you preach in English language. And he did something similar in others. So he gave somebody that you come from Gujarati background, you go and preach where people speak Gujarati, because people do connect with the language we speak. So Srila Prabhupada, he said to Guru Maharaj, he's known as Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, he said to him that my dream, which I would like to pass on to you, is to build this temple in Mayapur. And some of the stories we hear from the senior disciples of Guru Maharaj, that how Guru Maharaj from his own hands started building the temple. So he was part of the construction itself. Of course, he was very young then. And now even the other bigger temple, he's doing it. It's amazing what we get out of it when we are in the association. It's so powerful. We could live alone here in in London in our homes, but when we are there together in the association, it's amazing. Of course, we could be in association here in London as well. A lot of retreats happening. We had a retreat from the temple, Easter retreat, and I think there's a retreat at the end of May as well, May bank holiday. So I might share that in the group. So sometimes feel free. And we are a bit stuck at the moment for education for the kids, because Shivani got this exam to prepare, which Anil Prabhuji will understand, because he was preparing for Jai last year. So we are kind of occupied there, but we've been to these retreats, and imagine 2 days full of devotees, and then you come out of it, then all these devotees, a lot of devotees that you find that they live next to you, like in the same town and in the similar vicinity. So then when we come back, it's a beautiful family. So we say God brother, God sister, and we always look after for each other. It's amazing. If you haven't experienced already, I would definitely recommend visiting Mayapur, visiting Vrindavan, visiting retreat here in London, and not only in London, in Birmingham and Manchester as well. Great. Hare Krishna, Mataji, sorry, just saw your hand.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji. When we went to Mayapur, I visited this temple, TVOP. It's huge complex, and the central hall is so huge you can't even identify yourself there. And there were 2 huge elephants right at the entrance of this central hall. And other thing is that Ganga Maya is so nearby as well. Yes, and so we had a dip in the Ganga Maya there. And just another thing, talking about the retreat, I'm going to Radhadrash in Belgium.
Oh yes,
on Monday for about 3 nights, 4 days.
Haribo.
Yes,
That's another beautiful place to be.
yes. So I thought I would just share my.
Haribo. Thank you so much, Mataji. We have great memories, and I got another friend in Brussels. So I was discussing this with him that because last time when we went there, he could not come with us. So we were in Paris, and from Paris we went to his place, and from his place we went there, but he couldn't come. He had a very young child at that moment. But this time when we said that when we will come, you got to come with us. And he said, yes, of course, I have heard so much, I would love to. But that's 3 days, as you said, we did something similar. We were there for similar sort of time. And that you yourself. And of course, we went many years back, but now it has it's got much wider perspective. A lot of devotees from our manor, they visit there for retreat. So great.
Yes, and they have started this Vanipedia, the Vishnu Prabhuji, who is the main. Yes, so we shall be able to see that. And at the moment, Vishnu Prabhuji is at Manor in ISKCON.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. And that's because these are great souls. They have spent like all their life. And that's the reason the GBC authority, for example, when we have Sutapa Prabhuji here, he was most of the time local to us. But since he got, if I say so, promoted, he has taken sannyas to His Holiness Swami Keshav. Swam Bhagwan Keshav Maharaj Ji. Now Keshav Maharaj Ji is very hard to find him at Manor because always traveling. And this is what the concept of sannyas is, that you never stay at one place, you keep traveling, keep moving away. So thank you so much for sharing, Mataji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. I've shared the link for TOVP and Vanipedia, and there are so many great resources, so much work done by so many different devotees, and it's amazing the way they have been working together. So, and yeah, we are part of a small part of such a great, big organization. So, yeah, so good to hear. Hare Krishna. Okay, so let's get started with our session. We are, and again, this is the mercy of Srila Prabhupada Ji, who put together the whole translation in such a way which aligns with the aims and objectives of the movement. And if you say, Srila Prabhupada Ki
Jai.
Let's do a Mangalacharan and then we resume to our session. Om. Jnana-timirandasya jnana-jana-sharakaya chakshuram-militam yena tasmai Shri-Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya-Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Yuda Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Zagrijatam Zahagana Raghunatha Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhavitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutei Devi Karmani Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatreshitarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev Maharaj ki jai, jai jai Shri Radha Hare Krishna. So I welcome everyone to today's session on Shri Īśopaniṣad. Well, we have already done a bit of revision on invocation mantra, that Krishna is Purna, everyone who has come out of Krishna, which we, Jivatma, we are Purna. And then Īśāvasyam principle, mantra 1, that everything belongs to Krishna. Because everything has come out of Krishna, everything belongs to Krishna. It's like in Microsoft company, there was a time when Bill Gates was the only one. And now rest of the Microsoft is so massive in the world, but everything still belongs to him. then anyone who is working in Microsoft, if that person will remember that, then that person can live in harmony. And of course, within that scope, person can promote and they can get bigger, they can develop further, and they can enjoy themselves, but they got to be in harmony with Īśopaniṣad principle. And this is what it is for us in material world. If you just remember that this material world is how the Shastra says, Shan Bhangur. And this is one of those points which we should remind to ourselves every day, every moment of our life, that every day we wake up, thank you to Krishna. Thank you, we are okay, our near and dear ones are okay. Because one day will come, which comes to many people, that we lose these material relationships, material connections. So as long as we are here, we should help each other to move forward in Krishna consciousness. Sorry. And then mantra 3, that if we don't live in this, if we are not connected to the source, then we need to understand that this harmony got to be there. And this is what is happening in the material world. Most of the time, we think that those people who are materially so successful, that they're spiritually blind. And that's the reason that spiritual blindness becomes the reason of their fall down. And then we think, well, what happened there? The person was so successful. But the reason was that couldn't make a balance between material and spiritual life. And hopefully when we realize everything will be spiritual, material is just a reflection of the spiritual world. And if we live in this material world like that, then we can understand how in the harmony, living with Īśopaniṣad principle can make us harmonious, happy. Not only we will become happy, but people around us will become happy. And this happens automatically. There is no efforts required. Of course, we could do the efforts at the moment, but once we reach to that, so we are Kanishta, we are Madhyam, and then we are Uttamadhikari. So Kanishta, somebody who has neophytes, has started a spiritual, just embarked on a spiritual path, and somebody who is in the middle, intermediary, Madhyam, is someone who is there, let's say halfway through, who has understood, who is convinced, but who knows the journey is not completed yet. But somebody who has realized and has reached to the goal is called Uttamadhikari, where we consider our Guru Maharaj, yes, or Srila Prabhupada ji was, that they are Uttamadhikari, they are the ones who lead us. Then for them, there is no effort. Whatever they do, wherever they are. So when Guru Maharaj ji was there in Chennai for one of his major operations, then he was there with the doctors, with nurses, and he was preaching to nurses. And the doctor was already a devotee, but he was preaching to nurses. And the doctor came out, and doctor had a laugh and said, Guru Maharaj is so merciful that he's not worried about his own health. He's not asking any material questions from nurse that how's my BP? Do you think I'm doing well? How's my health improving? He's asking the nurse that what do you know about Krishna? Do you know about Srila Prabhupada ji? Have you got any book about it? And the whole focus was just spreading Krishna consciousness, regardless of the fact what our personal circumstances are, time, place, and circumstances, as Srila Prabhupada ji always said. So moving forward, we have 4 to 8, where we can only understand Ishwar by spiritual vision. Hare Krishna, Mataji, please.
Yes, because nothing else, but there seems to be some disturbance in the background when you're talking.
Is it right?
Yeah. A little bit of an echoing as well, a little bit.
Okay, is it better now, Mataji?
When you speak towards the end, there's something like low grade sound in the background. I don't know.
Right. Okay. Let me know, Mataji, please. If I just noticed I had because I wanted to share the verse. I had share sound open, which I have unselected now, so that's not there. But if it continues, please let me know.
Okay.
And then I will put the headset on, because at the moment I'm on speaker. So sometimes that could be, even though in the vicinity, no one is around, but the kids, they have grown up. So sometimes they make the noise in the back. But it could be what we call electric noise. But I will try to use the headphone. Headphones are usually better.
Okay.
Is it better now, Mataji, or is it still the same?
There's still something at the back. There's still, I don't know about others.
Right. Okay.
Mataji, it's all fine at my end. I think if it continues that way, then I think it is good to just log out and log in again in
Yeah.
Zoom to see if that solves the problem.
Yeah, I don't have any problem here also.
Okay. Okay. I shall see. Okay. Thanks for the suggestion.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No worries, man.
Thank you. Thank you, Anil Prabhuji. Thank you, Ajayji. Good to know that. Otherwise, I was thinking if I will put the headset on, but yeah, it could be from Mataji's side. I think Mataji has just left. All right. Okay, Mataji will rejoin. So thank you so much for the confirmation. So moving forward, as we have seen, Ishwar could not be understood by material vision. That's why we need a spiritual vision, and that's why it's so important for us to keep reading the spiritual books, our shastras, and not only us, our kids also, the next generation. It should become the habit. So at home we have Aryan and Shivani. They got their own Bhagavad Gita. They will not pick every day, but we always inspire them that even if we will read one verse a day, that will take them. One day they will finish. And of course, based on that, we always have discussions. It gives the next perspective, and it helps in the material understanding as well. Like I know somebody said once that reading, I think the devotee was Bengali, and I was in Muscat. So somebody asked that, what did you learn from Srila Prabhupada's books? And different people were discussing different things. And this Mataji, she said that, I don't know if I understood anything else, but definitely my English is getting better. Because her background was Bengali. She used to read Bengali text from Srila Prabhupada, but Srila Prabhupada translated a lot of in English. Now in the gathering, she's doing a lot more English. And she's so surprised that her English is getting better. Of course, she knew the philosophy anyways. But that's one thing, and that's so true. Srila Prabhupada's English is the way he has written, the way he has explained. And I discussed a few things with Aryan. Aryan is in year 9 and doing religion and philosophy. And philosophy is a big part of it. And the way they put the points together in philosophy and then discuss the fallacies in it. Srila Prabhupada's text explain in a very similar fashion, that you put your point through and then you make it understand, then you give the fallacy as well. Fallacy is that how this point could be misunderstood, and then you justify that. And when I did, and luckily enough, only yesterday I got my certificate, which took a long time, from Mayapur Institute, that I have completed my Bhakti Vaibhav module 2, and which is a great thing. So I can move on to the next course now. But even Bhakti Vaibhav module 2, so we have module 1 for first 3 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam, then more canto 4, 5, and 6, next 3 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam in Bhakti Vaibhav module 2. And in that, we have a lot of essays to write. A lot of written assignments are there, like every week, based on whether you do fast or you do slow. In fast one, you have every week essays to write. And in the slow one, you have every month an essay to write. And then in the essays, more or less a similar thing, that a question is given. And based on that, you need to explain, you need to write, and then you need to give the fallacy, you need to explain it. And it helps immensely how you improve your writing, you improve your thinking. So anything now when we discuss with somebody else out of SCON, then we understand that how Srila Prabhupada and all these literatures they explain. They help us to preach much better and to counteract, not to defeat, but to counteract others' point as well. And of course, to put our point. And also, to realize that when we say something or when we read something, it could also be misunderstood by others. So this is what we say is spiritual vision in this. And then we should always be very careful. And then we have right and wrong Vidya, where we are now, number 9, 10, and 11. Of course, based on that, we will move on to Pasna, worship. And then hopefully, then we will be able to pray to Krishna with pure consciousness. Krishna will be able to reveal himself. And when Krishna revealing himself, we will see it's not that physically, well, it might happen if we are lucky enough that Krishna might appear at front of us. But we will be able to see Krishna almost all the aspects of our life. And that's what truly what means Krishna consciousness. That's when we drink water in the morning or any time of the day, but most of the people start the day by drinking water in the morning. And then Krishna himself has said that I'm the taste of water, I'm the taste in water. When we, of course, living here in London, we always urge for the sun to come out. And so Krishna says, I'm the sunlight of sun. So when we see and feel and observe these different things, different blessings in our life, we get full of gratitude towards Krishna, that this is part and parcel of Krishna. This is the energy of Krishna. And this is how we can live in Krishna consciousness. Doesn't really matter where we are. If we do something good at work, then we understand Krishna has given those skills to us. And this is the right type of vidya, right type of knowledge. We have discussed number 9 and we are on 10. And so I'm just moving briefly. Actually, we will go right. So this is from Chaitanya Charan Prabhuji's presentation we have already done. This is from Radheshyam Prabhuji from Pune, who is renowned for his flowcharts, and I really love it. In a very concise way, especially when we have already covered the whole mantra, all the purpose, they have been explained well by Chaitanya Charan Prabhuji. We can always come back and follow this, because now at any point, if we want to do revision of these verses, we can always come back to these flowcharts. And if you see, there are only, I think there are only 2. Yeah, for this mantra, there are only 2 of these. So in 2 slides, we have all. So sometimes we run the courses where we, in a concise way, like we did 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita in 18 days, something similar. We do 18 mantras of Shri Īśopaniṣad in a very short, concise way. And it could be just 1 session, or it could be 18 sessions. And then these kind of flowcharts, they really help. So cultivating knowledge and essence. Knowledge is positive, essence is the ignorance, what we don't need. But how do we cultivate knowledge? Cultivating 18 items. And hopefully we remember, given in Bhagavad Gita 13.8 to 12. And I was thinking of this, this particular point this morning when Prabhuji, as I was discussing, Prabhuji was discussing at manner when he delivered the Bhagavatam class this morning. Actually, the class was on Chaitanya Charitamrita, but he referred to Lord Shiva being because he is one of the biggest Vaishnava, we call it. And but in a very funny way, he said that Lord Shiva is he's so keen on cutting people's head. And then he explained why he did that. So obviously he cut Ganeshji's head, he cut Brahmaji's head. And later on, he didn't do it, but his energy did cut Daksh Prajapati's head as well. So he was explaining that why, in case of Brahmaji also, that Brahmaji is full of knowledge. And when we are full of knowledge, we become pride. And that was one of the reasons that Shivji cut Lord Brahma's. This pastime is not very common, but he did, very brief, but there is a mention there as well in Bhagavatam. But Daksh Prajapati, that pastime is elaborately explained, where Sati, well, Parvati Ji, the wife of Lord Shiva. Well, he wasn't Parvati then actually, he was Sati, but he got Sati. He burned himself, she burned herself, she gave her own body because of her father's. Well, why? Why? Because when in the gathering, Brahma and Lord Shiva, they were sitting and everybody else was sitting and Daksh Prajapati entered. Then everybody stood up except two people, Brahmaji and Shivji. Now, Brahmaji is the father of Daksh Prajapati. So Daksh Prajapati said, oh, okay, that's okay, he's my father. But even though Lord Shiva is transcendental, he's in one sense bigger than Lord Brahma, but he is the son-in-law of Daksh Prajapati. So he took offense. And that's why we say, like, Brahmaji is in knowledge, Daksh Prajapati was in Rajo. He was full of power at that point, and that got into his head. And why are we discussing these? Because these are the humbleness. Despite the fact we have the knowledge, despite the fact we have the power, we have the control, we have the skills to do something, we need to cultivate those 18 points. And one of those points is to keep ourselves humble. And of course, if we remember, and not only we remember, we keep reminding ourselves in the society, right? So when somebody does something, somebody gets promoted, we give a call, we don't say, oh, well done, you deserve it. We say, well done. And I'm sure you're grateful to Krishna that Krishna provided you the skills and knowledge due to which you got promoted, or something similar. If something goes correct, this is the standing and where a devotee keep himself or herself very stable. That if something goes well, it's because of Krishna. If something didn't go well, it's because of my past karma. And if we think of that, if we keep that consciousness in our mind, we will always be happy. Of course, we could be in pain. It could be a bodily pain. Of course, those three we say, that miseries will be there, that threefold miseries, they will be there, right? Like COVID came up, but if COVID will stuck, of course, it stuck many people in the past, then we understand this is because of us. This is not, like some people say, oh, why Krishna created COVID? Well, actually thinking about it, Krishna didn't create COVID. It was due to man's own bad deeds, which gave birth to COVID. But even if we say, oh, well, but everything needs Krishna's ascension. Well, even in that case, we can say, yes, it needed Krishna's ascension because whoever did the bad deserved the bad thing. So we can never say, a lot of time people say life is not fair. Well, if we know the whole story, maybe we will realize life is fair. And if we will say life is not fair, we can only think in positive terms, because so many things we do wrong. But I personally think that Krishna takes such a good care of ourselves. We don't get all the bad. If we will, of course, it feels very, well, it feels other way around. That when we do bad things and bad things don't happen, we don't say thank you to Krishna. But if something small happens, which is bad, then we always say, why Krishna, why me? Why me? I've done this, I've done that. And so many times, especially when people get older, health. Now, throughout the life, people don't take care of their health. At the end of the life, when the bad things come back due to our own karma, we say, why me? There are so many others who have done worse than me. But we don't know what their karmas are. Maybe they're cashing on their positive karmas at the moment. Maybe. We don't know. Once the benefits of their positive karmas will run out, then they will suffer as well. But just because they are not suffering at the moment, sometimes say, oh, well, he has been smoking for so many years. He hasn't got lung cancer. Why somebody got it? He never smoked. Well, that person might have done something else to counteract. And this person must have something in the past which is coming out now. We don't know the full story. We did one session on karma. Maybe it's worth doing it again because it's such a beautiful way. Karma. No, Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita as well that to understand the reactions of karmas, because reactions, they don't come back straight away. They could be next minute, like if we touch the fire, we will burn. Right? It could be next week. It could be in few months. We know we give the exams, the results come back. Like the certificate I got yesterday, I finished that way like 6 months back, and I just got the certificate. So sometimes the results, they don't come back, good or bad. And sometimes they take years to take, years. Sometimes people say, oh, in my childhood, I used to drink or eat so much non-healthy food. Well, for last 10 years, I haven't. Well, all those things we did, maybe the body is not detoxing so much. So if we keep ourselves in that consciousness, then we can easily work on that and cultivate 18 items. We did discuss that. If we didn't, then I think it's a good point. Refer back to Bhagavad Gita 13.8. So this is chapter 13, verses 8 to 12, and 18 items are listed there. So think of it, which we have, which we don't, which we should work on. And this is what we say, that Bhagavad Gita is for not only for Hindus, not only for those who belong to Vedic culture. Anyone from any religion could pick, like yoga is one of those things, you know. Anyone could do yoga. It's not going to say that if you're Muslim, you're Christian, you're Jews, you're Sikh, you're Jain, you're Buddhist, that, oh, yoga will not work for you. No, yoga is just a practice. Similar things, Bhagavad Gita is that, somebody said, manual for the body. That if we take care, of course, not only for the body, mind, and spirit, we could say, and we don't really need to change our religion to follow Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita gives us the wisdom for the body, mind, and soul. And that's the reason we could easily discuss with others, that if you want to be humble, we do this. And later in 16, 17, 18 chapter, there are so many different categories based on goodness, passion, and ignorance. And anyone could follow that. And anyone understands that. So when I went to Cranfield University, I was discussing this with one of the professors during, first during dinner time, then the next morning during breakfast time. And he had a misunderstanding about the caste system in India. And when I explained him the way the Shastra says, and of course the way people, the corrupt people practice, and some of them still practice, that's very different than why it was invented. And whether people like it or not, people still use it. For example, in our company, we say, oh, the bonuses are not available. Nobody gets the bonus. But that's not true. Those who are high enough, they do get bonus. But in general, bonus. Now, why do they get bonus? Those who are, let's say, they are senior VPs, they get more money for their job, right? Based on whichever level somebody works. People get different salary packages. Then why do they need to have extra bonus? Now, somebody might say that it's not fair. But again, this is what we are saying, that different people work in different class, even in the same organization, right? Somebody gets the car allowance, somebody else, you don't. And these kind of things are there all over the society. And it is very, very good. Like what Srila Prabhupada said once, that those who are Shudras. Now again, Shudras not as per their caste. Shudras as per their mentality, their consciousness. Right? Some people are. Some people are good in learning. Doesn't really matter what their caste is. Doesn't really matter what the color of their skin is. So this is where all the inclusion and diversion comes in. So when I did, I arranged this wisdom from Ramayana, and I invited one of the Prabhujis from the manor, and got this at the company where I work, wisdom from Ramayana, the session. And there was one story at the end I requested him to narrate, which is that Lord Rama, when he saw the conversation between Hanumanji and a squirrel, a small squirrel, who was with his small hands tried to put some sand in. And Hanumanji said, what are you doing? Well, we monkeys, we are putting such a huge rocks to build this bridge. What are you doing here? And she said, well, I can't lift the big rocks like you got your big biceps, but what I could do is just moving these little sands between the rocks. And then Hanumanji said, I don't know, it doesn't matter. And Lord Rama was there, and he came out, and he was witnessing from the back. He was listening to this interesting story, and he came out from his hiding, and he said, Hanuman, what do you think? For me, both of you are equal, because both of you have that consciousness to serve. Doesn't really matter what the impact is, doesn't really matter. So this is what it is. And when he discussed that, I said in the chat that that's where the inclusion and diversity is, that even in the company, it doesn't really matter which grade, which level, which pay package somebody's working on. Whatever we are contributing for the company, that's what matters. We all would like to make the company we are working as a great success. And many people love that concept. And of course, the Vedic, this is how from Vedic culture we can learn many different things. And cultivating those 18 points could be one of those things which we can learn from this mantra 10 of Shri Īśopaniṣad, culturing knowledge. And any questions, any thoughts on that, please? Okay, while you're thinking, I don't know, Ajay, because Ajayji works in the same company where I work in. Ajayji, if you haven't seen this, that talk, Wisdom from Ramayana, is on Yammer, our internal communication channel.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. Yeah, there was actually, that was Houston somewhere that was hosted, I think.
Well, no, we hosted here, but I think the communication, so because it was hosted by Aspire. So I am part of Aspire UK, but the communication listed was from Houston. You're right.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's why I thought it's more like, in the Houston area, not here in the UK. I have seen that on the Yammer.
Yes, yes. But yeah, if you will open that, you will see that I introduced the, you would not recognize the Prabhuji, but I introduced, we had somebody called Radha Govinda Prabhuji as well in past. Last year, he did 3 different sessions. And this is another Prabhuji who did this time. So we always try to organize different talks.
Yeah, definitely. I will have a look. Yes, definitely. Yeah, just thank for reminder. Yeah.
Yes, well, thank you. And let us know what you think, because because obviously we always look for the scope of improvements, and many other people they might not be, but I can trust you. You could be giving us honest feedback. So rely on that. Great. Thank you so much. And others as well. If you work in different corporates, if you like to get some corporate talks done, then this is our way of one of the subtle way of preaching. If you think about, people didn't know. So again, Ajayji will know our one of the HR leaders, Emma, and she didn't know anything about this. So the facilitator, the teacher, we call it facilitator these days. But he said, anyone who doesn't know, or what do you already know? And she wrote it down in the chat that I'm starting from zero knowledge. So I'm looking for all the wisdom. And she was, the feedback I got at the end was that we didn't, because it was just for an hour, then people said we didn't want it to end because there were so many different stories and so many different learnings from it. And people have already requested for him to come back and discuss many more things, which we are planning. But it's not only, because we are part of inclusion and diversity, it's not only Sanatan Dharma. I'm also organizing something from our Jain community, a Jain temple here in London. So one of the priests will be here as well. So similar thing in the Buddhist. So again, when we cultivate those 18 items, when we are humble, it's not only that we are humble, we are truthful, we are fearless, we are faithful only to our small community where only ISKCON people are within the Hare Krishna movement, within the Gaudiya Math. No, it's the whole humanity. And well, I say humanity, but it includes everyone. And that's where the sustainability comes in as well. That we have, we naturally take care of the plants and the trees and the environment. So it is the whole package itself the Vedic culture is such a way that all these new terms, like sustainability was not there few years back. It's a very new, well, now it could have been 4 or 5 years, but like 10 years, 15 years back, nobody heard of sustainability. But Vedic culture has always been taking care of it. The Ayurvedic way is an automatic way, such a sustainable way. Another thing from Ramayana, what we can learn is that so yesterday I was reading this to Shivani, one of the books we are reading now, which is very small, short stories from the Vedic culture. And one of them reminded of Lord Rama, Mother Sita, and Lakshmana when they went to the forest and they met Jatayu. So before the incident of Jatayu happened, they met Jatayu and Jatayu welcomed them. Jatayu is actually the son of Arun. So you might have heard of Garud. Garud is the vehicle of Lord Vishnu, and his brother Arun is the chariot driver of Surya. And Arun's son is Jatayu. And Jatayu is the one who saved Lord Rama's fathers. There was a Sangrama, there was a big battle which happened, and that's where he saved his life. And that's why he made him as a friend. And that's why when Lord Rama came, Lord Rama was full of gratitude for him, that you are like a fatherly figure for me. And he said, I welcome you, I'm all here, but whatever I can do for you. And later on, when Ravan came and Ravan was abducting Sita, then obviously hopefully we remember the story that he tried his best. He could not stop Ravan abducting Mother Sita, and he gave his life during the process. But when Lord Rama came, Lord Rama was away when Dashrath died, right? He could not do the final rituals for him, but he did the final rituals for Jatayu. And this is another thing, that whether the results happen or not is a different thing, but the efforts were noticed. And this is what happens. So what Krishna says, so when we chant, it's not really that how well we manage to chant. It's how well we would like to chant. It's the consciousness. So somebody asked, Srila Prabhupada in Vrindavan. So Prabhupada was traveling all over the place, and at one place he was just leaving, and somebody just walked to him and stopped the car and said, Srila Prabhupada, it was a great, but you're going, I don't know when you will come back. I've heard so much. Just give me one thing. What should I do? And Prabhupada said that just have that desire. That's it. Whether you were able to, and of course, whenever Srila Prabhupada gave any instructions to any of his disciples or any of his followers, it's for all of us. And that's how Srila Prabhupada stays connected to all of us, not only through his books, but the instructions he has given to all of us. So I've never met Srila Prabhupada in person, but I've read so much about him that I feel like I'm so much connected to him. I feel like any instructions he has given to anyone, those instructions are personally for me. And His Holiness Radhanath Swamiji Maharaj actually did say that. Somebody asked him and said that, give me some personal instructions, like just for me, knowing my personal circumstances. And Radhanath Swamiji Maharaj said, all my instructions in all my classes to all my disciples are for all of you. So all those instructions, consider them as personal to you. Because it's not like I will give you this instruction, I will give you that instruction. The instruction is that we need to be Krishna conscious all the time. And Srila Prabhupada said that just have that desire. Doesn't really matter what we able to do, what we able to get. But we have the desire, and of course, if we have the desire, we make the efforts. And those efforts are counted. Those efforts are counted. And they, like what Lord Rama didn't say, well, you could not save. You're a failure. No, Lord Rama was full of gratitude towards Jatayu and did the final. What else we could do? So in the case of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji was there and Haridas Thakurji. So what did Haridas Thakurji ask for? When I die, when I leave my body, I just request you to be there. Mahaprabhuji, and this is, if you go to different temples, I think even in Delhi temple, in Vrindavan temple, there is a beautiful painting that Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji is holding Haridas Thakurji's body at the end. That he did. Haridas Thakurji was from Muslim background, but he was such a great devotee. He's a Namacharya, which is he has taken, or he used to chant so much that I mean, it's even hard to, if we do it at our speed, then what it takes for us to chant 16 rounds for 2 hours, he used to chant more than 22 hours in 24 hours. Imagine that. And there are so many different pastimes about him. And there was some others, but he was, of course, the Namacharya. And what do we get from it? It's just a desire. It's just the pure consciousness desire. Sometimes we think Krishna is not watching, people are not watching, nobody knows. When we fall down and when we get up, what's the first thing we see? We look around. Has anyone noticed? Did anyone see? Well, of course, Krishna has seen us. Krishna is there in form of Super Soul, Paramatma, Chaitya Guru in our heart. And we cannot hide anything from Krishna. And we don't even need to tell anything to Krishna. Of course, we do tell it because it looks nice. When we love someone, do we need to express our love? Well, it's good to express, but we don't really need to express. The other person realizes it. Isn't it true? If somebody is angry with us, the person doesn't have to come to us and say, I'm angry with you. The person's body language, the feelings, the words, the pitch, the space, everything around the person will tell you the person is annoyed, person is happy, person is pained. But of course, person can always use the words to express himself or herself. And this is the kind of relationship we have Krishna. And this is where 18 qualities are there. And rest of them, they just follow that. They just follow that. So it's 10:30 now, but maybe next time, what we'll do, we will take one more session and we will try to conclude we have these presentations, and maybe we will go into detail. They are also based on the 18 practice, if you see, but we can discuss, highlight few points from them. And but yeah, if you get the chance, please pick the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, and just go through the verses, see what it says, and all these 18 qualities. What do you think about them? And we can have a good discussion on it. This is a good story we will discuss next time. So thank you so much for your association. And I look forward to speak to you next Saturday morning and conclude mantra chant. With that, Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai, Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai, jai Shri Radhe.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hare, Hare, Hare.
Hare.
Hare.